Hello and welcome to the Nest Productions Q&A.
Yeah.
We did after 2 hours of deciding what to do.
I came up with yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm Ryan.
I'm Sean.
This is our much belated 1 year anniversary podcast.
It is.
And through some inspiration by some of our viewers, Sean and I decided, mostly Sean, it was his idea. He's the idea man.
Well, I try. We're not naming any names, so just like I said. But yes, loyal viewers.
Yes. I mean,
For some odd reason.
if you want your name, in here, do it in the comments.
Thank you. Thank you.
In the comments, say, that question was mine. I'm so glad that you guys answered it.
Yeah. But to touch on what you just said as far as much belated year anniversary, hence the you should put in cricket sounds if you can. But where's Garrett? Where's Jimmy? Where's that one guy from Josh from episode 13? Where's They got tired of waiting for us.
They got so tired of waiting, they went off and got real jobs.
They did. Here we are. And that's what started. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't even want to say we were the first ones, because we can go back and say, like, when you and I first met, I don't even remember how the conversation started, where you're like, something about a podcast. I'm like, what the fuck is a podcast?
Well, I think
unbeknownst to me, I was listening to one.
Yeah, well, I think what happened was I was saying how I wanted to do something on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh,
and then I think it was Josh that said something about podcasts. Because originally my plan, going into this YouTube thing, was I didn't really plan on doing podcasts, but that's kind of just been my gateway into trying out other things to do on YouTube.
This is the weed of
pretty much Reefer Madness, Podcast Madness.
Podcast Madness. There you go.
Title Q&A Podcast Madness.
Podcast Madness.
You know, it's funny. I just watched the episode of That 70s Show where they were doing the Reefer Madness.
I'm unfamiliar. Shit, I was there.
You know what happened.
If I start watching that show, I'll bash it.
Flashbacks.
Sure. Or bash it, That didn't happen. At least not in my circle.
As much as I joke about you being old as fuck, you're only 45?
I'm celebrating the 30th anniversary of my 21st birthday. No, I'm kidding. 47.
47. So you weren't that old in the 70s.
No, I wasn't. But see, the thing is, though, I had a really, really cool... I think I've told you this story before. My cousin was lumped, just burdened at the time to babysit. Different time. Mm-hmm. So grown-ups could just go or just leave me at home.
Yeah.
And my brother was infant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, by the way, you're my cousin. I'm not going to name her name. Because I don't want to name drop. Because she is somebody of importance in the cinematic universe.
Oh, yes.
But at the time, she goes, oh, man. She had a boyfriend,
Yeah.
She's teenage going into 20s type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, man. I'm about ready to graduate high school. Really? I got to take care of this kid? But, see, the thing is, though, I know you wouldn't know it now, but when I was a youngin', I was not a problem.
What?
What? Yeah, no. She, I learned at a very, very, very young age, which I still say to this day, I credit her for somewhat, maybe 25% of the person I am.
How dare you?
No, the good part.
Oh, okay, good.
Just the fact that comics,
mm-hmm.
music, appreciation. And when I say appreciation, I mean she was the type that would, here you go, give me this stack of vinyl records. Listen to this. If I'm going to in hindsight, I can tell she's like, well, if I'm going to be fucking stuck with you, might as well, I'm going to influence you, And she gave me like, a stack of Rush records, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, the old stuff, Beatles. I'm like, well, I'm not a Zeppelin fan. Fuck Pink Floyd. Skinner, yeah, all right. Ooh, Sabbath. Yes. And then, of course, comics and music meshed with me as a child. When she'd take me to, show me comics, because she was a comic nerd too. Before chicks were nerdy and it was cool.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't cool for guys either at the time, in the 70s. And then she showed me Kiss. And I know you've heard this story. Oh, you've heard the stories. Everybody, a lot of people listening have heard the stories that know me. It's like, oh fuck, here we go.
Wait, you're a fan of Kiss?
I'm a card-carrying member of the Kiss Army. It's only because they let me in, unlike the Church of Satan. No, but and then she started taking me to concerts, and I became like the little mascot.
Mm-hmm.
My hair was long and everything, but you know what though? I wasn't a problem. I didn't start shit. Didn't have to worry about me. I was always like right there.
Mm-hmm.
I did what I was told. I just sat there, shut up, and listen. Now, what's going on in my head is, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so privileged and just overjoyed. The euphoria that was gushing through my body,
mm-hmm.
that the fact that she thought enough of me to take me with her, not knowing at the time that she didn't have a choice. But
if I'm babysitting you, we're doing what I want to do.
And she took me to concerts, and she had a cool boyfriend at the time, and he had a cool Smokey and the Bandit car. He had a Trans Am.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he drive a Trans Am or a Firebird, Sean?
Oh yeah. And that's all I could identify with in my young age. And I'm just sitting there, and I saw a lot of cool bands that I didn't appreciate at the time,
mm-hmm.
or didn't really know. I mean, I appreciated them, but I didn't know. And then now, here I am today. I'm like, holy fuck, I saw that. I was there. I did that, And it's all up to her. And we'd sit there, even when we weren't doing that, she would teach me how to draw. And I owe all that to her.
Huh.
Like, well, yeah, just, do this and do that. And
right on.
It was pretty cool.
That's cool. I don't have anything like that. Like,
Then again, her uncle was the prison guard who would have visits and was in charge of Charles Manson and play chess with him for an hour a month?
Jesus.
A week? I don't remember. But that's a whole nother story. He scared me. It was also the first introduction to the first time I ever saw tattoos.
Huh.
And then, I don't need to tell that story.
Wait, you have tattoos?
I used to have a few. Now I just have one big one.
It's your body.
Yeah.
Sean's one step away from being that guy that's like all brown from tattoos.
No, I just get all these tattoos because I can't tan, so I have to have some color in my skin. If not, then they're gonna
I'm just waiting slowly for the freckles to take over for me. Eventually, they'll all join together for one color.
See, if I didn't open up the shop and start doing the tattoos and everything, then I was afraid that the people from the morgue would be like, zombie, or somebody would shoot me in the head, or they like put me in the back of the meat wagon, load me up in the morgue. I'm so dead man pale, fat and stupid.
So, so this was just like supposed to be my gateway into other stuff, which I still plan on doing. It's just finding the time and getting the proper setup going, because like I still want to do a video game thing, like a Let's Play style commentary of me playing a video game. It's just my current, like, I'm gonna, instead of calling it my bedroom, I'm gonna call it my office. My current office setup isn't applicable for that.
Yeah.
But it's still in the works. I still plan on doing that. But But I wanted to be an entertainer for a very long time. Ever since, all right, so the first thing I ever did on the internet, believe it or not, wasn't porn. My cousin.
Okay, good. That's a good lead.
My cousin introduced me to. He's not a comedian I favor now, but Dane Cook. He was the first stand-up comedian I ever like watched on the internet on YouTube, and I was a freshman in high school. That's like prime Dane Cook years. You're like, oh, he's so spazzy.
Okay.
And then that just kind of led me down. Like, I've always liked comedy. Like, I watched Friends and Seinfeld and stuff as a kid. But, like, I didn't, like, realize, like, stand-up comedian was, like, a profession that people did. So, for years, like, I wanted to... I got super into stand-up comedy all throughout high school. And, I mean, I've had relationships and friendships form from that. Like, my first girlfriend when I moved here... Like, the first thing we found out we had in common when we started dating was she loved stand-up comedy.
You stood up without pants and she just started laughing.
Yeah.
That's how I met my wife.
Me and Josh, our friendship, like, we started hanging out, and turned out we both liked stand-up comedy.
I was going to repeat what I just said.
Me trying to stand up, that's comedy.
No, me trying to stand
knees.
Oh, that's right.
And then after, high school, I was like, all right, maybe stand-up comedy is not like... I can't do my senior project on being a stand-up comedian. Like, for one, I'm 17, and I don't fucking drive. I have no way to meet a stand-up comedian to, like, mentor me. So I decided, teacher would be kind of cool. Like, I like to read books... Which also, another thing I didn't really like until I got into high school, thanks to a series I've actually talked about quite a few times on here and introduced Sean to, The Dresden Files.
Yes.
The first book I lent you, actually, The Full Moon. That was the first one I bought. My aunt bought it for me my freshman year because I was living with her. And I did a report on it in my English class. And I got hooked on the books. I was hooked on the book.
Hooked on the book.
And I've been reading those ever since. I'm waiting for the next book to come out. It's been in the works for like 3 or 4 years. I'm super bummed that it's not out yet. But they just started a new run on the comics, which is cool. And so I did my senior project on being a high school English teacher. And I worked with I mentored underneath my favorite teacher. I kind of taught a class for her. Like, I did a planner for, like, that to date. Like, I looked at what she was working on, like, teaching the class, and I made, like, a little syllabus for, like, a day to teach that. I think I ended up just making him watch a movie.
Okay.
Which was, like, perfect. I was like, all right, today, class, I am your teacher for, like, 5 minutes. We're watching a movie. All right, good luck. She's testing you afterwards.
Wow.
It was a good day. So I just, like, sat and watched a movie.
For you?
Yeah. But, like, I still wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So, like, I was planning on going, like, to all the clubs and stuff and starting to write my own material. But it's kind of like, I took a year off after school because I had all the graduation money. And then I eventually, got a job, started working, still didn't have a car, still didn't have my license. And eventually I did go to a stand-up comedy show once, and then I've only been to a couple. I'm going to, like, 2 this year, like, big ones.
Yeah.
But it just kind of died out, and, like, it was still a passion of mine, and I watched all, like, stuff on Netflix, and back when I had Comedy Central on cable, I watched that all the time. And so I still love stand-up comedy, but I was never able to really follow my passion through it. Except, I think I might have told this story once before. My buddy Grant, we had him on the show once or twice. He also was trying to be a stand-up comedian. And he was actually, because he lived in Portland, he was actually able to like go to clubs and get up on stage for open mic nights. And one time, Josh and I were gonna go see him on open mic night, and he just said, he's like, "Hey, why don't you get up on stage?" I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I already put your name down.
And what are friends for?
It's starting. I can't get my name off. I guess I'll just start writing material while I wait for my turn to come. So I have my phone out. I'm listening. I'm laughing. I'm writing material. Oh, and drinking, Jack and Cokes.
So what I just heard from you right there was you were drinking, you were scrambling for something, and you were feigning attention.
I was laughing. There were some really good guys, like some really funny guys up there.
Yeah.
Grant kind of bombed.
Oh.
I mean, he's funny, but he didn't bring his A game that night, which made me feel a lot more confident in the jokes I was making as a drunk.
Come on, you don't need to shit on one thing to bring something else up.
Josh had seen Grant before, and like Grant had a couple of silly jokes that I thought were funny. Me and Josh thought were funny, like the only people in the audience, probably because we knew him. But Josh had seen him before, and he did a lot better. And like we were getting farther in. I think I was like 4 or 5 Jack and Cokes in at this point. There were like 2 or 3 people left. I'm like, all right, I'm a little drunk, and I got a decent amount of material. I'm gonna be up there with my phone the whole fucking time, but I'm drunk, so I don't care. I don't want to lose this drunk I have, because it's not too much, it's not too little. So I'm just gonna I have a Jack and Coke, like about like halfway. I'm just sipping on it, trying to, keep.
I'm mainlining.
Keep the buzz alive.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we got one guy left, and he's a real funny guy. I've known him for years, blah, blah, blah. So-and-so. I'm like, they didn't call me. One more? I downed it, and I ordered one more. And at the end of the show, like, I was talking to some of the comedians, like, oh, yeah, dude, you were so fucking funny, yeah. And, like, the guy that was, like, the host, he was like, yeah, your buddy put your name down, but I didn't, like, want to punk you or anything and just, like, have you go up there unprepared. It's like, it's all good, bro. I got drunk, so it was a really good time.
There you go.
That was the closest I've ever been to going on stage as a comedian. Although I did do a couple of monologues in high school drama class where I did bits that I practiced from other comedians. And so YouTube for me, that was a really long rant for me to get back to YouTube, is like the place where being an entertainer and a teacher meet. We come on here every week and we talk about these characters that we study and read and love, and teach you guys about them and why they're interesting and why we like them. And so that's what YouTube is for me. Like the podcast is, I'm teaching people about this thing that I love for their entertainment. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And that's why I wanted to get into, how my dream of being a teacher and my dream of being a comedian kind of led me down the road to wanting to be a YouTuber.
All right, that's awesome. I still don't know what a YouTuber is, to be honest, but
it's a person that makes a living via YouTube.
All right, thank you for making me look stupid. Hey, I don't need your help to look stupid. I can do it all by myself. So that covers the first question that I have here.
Oh.
What advice would you give a new podcaster?
So, there's a couple of things that you need to do a podcast, or YouTube in general. First thing I got was a microphone. I couldn't afford one at the time, so I borrowed one from Grant, who was also doing some internet entertainment stuff, like Twitch streaming and whatnot. Recording software of some kind. Editing software. If you're, uploading it to YouTube like we do, I have to, run it through my editing software, put the pictures up and whatnot, so it can be uploaded to YouTube. An optional one, especially if you're just starting out, is a camera. Because a lot of YouTubers that have podcasts, they do, their visual one with their camera for YouTube, and then just the audio version for like iTunes.
Like the video, like so you can see.
Yeah, that's how the majority of podcasts are done in this day and age.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. You said stand-up comedian. I mean, I agree because I see you all the time. You're funny, but looks aren't everything. And the camera adds 10 pounds, and I can't afford that. So.
And you need an idea or a passion of something to talk about.
Yes.
I actually put passion on my list twice because that's how important it is. Like, you've probably listened to a episode or two where like we were talking about something that like I just wasn't that into. I was telling you about like that one book I got from Comic-Con last year.
Yeah.
Like I was like really disappointed by it, the Necromancer Hobo book. Like I was just so not into that book. It really didn't do it for me.
But
I
mean, the person who wrote it, you know, all those independent,
yeah.
you know,
but like, yeah, they pour their hearts and soul into it because it's something they really, it's this idea they came up with, and they're really proud of it, and they put all of their heart and soul and passion into making it. And if you don't put that into, like, if that guy didn't have that passion for that book, I would not have bought it.
Because he wouldn't have even done it.
Yeah.
You know? That's what I always say, you know, it's like, I look at it like, I've talked about it before, you and I have talked about it, and I've always had this philosophy where it's like writing for TV. It's like TV, a season of your favorite TV show.
Yeah.
Do the math. 7 times 3. Okay? There's how many episodes in the season.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have 7 really, really good ones, 7 not so good ones, and then 7 ones that were like, eh.
Yeah.
Just plan for that. And then you'll be all right. Nobody bats 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, especially.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
our biggest example was 2 weeks ago. We couldn't even get together to record. Not really our fault, but damn church. The church didn't want us to podcast.
Whether it's timing or everything, it's like victim of circumstance or just
like,
you know, nothing's going on.
And who was it? Like, I can't. You and Josh have talked about it before. Like Kevin Smith was like, the way he started to make his first movie, Clerks, was like he was like, all right, what do I have? This is what's going in the movie.
That I read. Jimmy and I did that. We did the Robert Rodriguez put out a thing.
Yeah.
He wrote an article, and it's for podcasters, it's for filmmakers, it's for anybody who wants to do anything. Stop. Everybody has an idea in their head,
mm-hmm.
and they supersede what they actually have at times, because you know what your vision in your head will, you know, it's like the guy that goes to the buffet. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Your stomach can be bigger than, you know, your appetite. Take inventory of what you have. Look around. Stop. Take a breath. Look around. What do you have available that's free, that doesn't cost you anything?
Yeah.
Or in the long run.
Yeah, like I was saying, like our first microphone I borrowed from a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a laptop already, and the recording software, which we use, is Audacity. It's completely free and open source.
Yeah.
Just downloaded it, and we were good to go. And my editing software, my cousin had a copy of, and he gave it to me.
Yeah.
So, like, we started this thing completely free.
And it's like, just so you know, like, I'm definitely not the star of anything. This is Ryan's brainchild. It started from one little seed. No offense, I'm not calling you a little guy, but it's a group, you know, culmination of stuff. You know, it's like your intro. Like you and Josh collaborated on that. You know,
our Josh from episode 13
from Talking Comics.
From Talking Comics, like he was the one that came up with "Welcome to Talking Comics," where we are bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded.
Yeah.
He said that while he and I were testing out the microphone. I was like, I'm stealing that.
And you guys, every time we do Real Dummies, man, Jimmy and I will sit around for sometimes a week and just talk shit back and forth to each other over text. And one little sentence or one, because him and I, like, it's different with Ryan and I as opposed to Jimmy and I, just like it's different with him and Josh as opposed to, well, you guys know listening that the collaboration of a certain person is different than something else. Yeah. And we'll, not even like try. And then, because I told him, I'm like, it's your Real Dummies is yours, motherfucker. You came up with the name.
Yeah, like
this is your shit.
Like Sean and Jimmy work on Real Dummies together because they're the movie guys. Like they both Jimmy was in film school. He's working on films now, actually.
Yeah.
And Sean's made movies. And
maybe not good ones, but
and written for TV shows.
Maybe not good ones again. But yeah, it's just that's the thing. I like to say, we section it down. We have Talking Comics, we have Real Dummies, we have Let's Play or Press Play, Space Monkeys, and then the infamous one and only, which there's a whole nother story, the S&M, which kind of spawned the Space Monkeys, but that's a whole nother story. But all those together under one umbrella, and it's like I figure it's like I try to do something different. I just wish, and it's nothing against anybody or anybody. I just wish I wasn't on a lot of them because I like to mix up the dynamic.
Yeah.
But it's like Talking Comics, like it's Ryan's the boss. Ryan's the brainchild. Ryan is everything. He takes the lead. Just like with Real Dummies, Jimmy takes the lead and everything, and just.
And Space Monkeys is kind of like your project.
Space Monkeys
it's all of us together.
That was my kind of brainchild, where it's like it's like
open your phone and go to whatever news is interesting and funny.
Which Ryan makes fun of me off mic because he's like, I don't want you to be on the internet anymore, because him and my wife are like. Why don't you get on the internet? And when I do, they're like, all right, never mind. Why do you find the most fucked up shit? But at the same time,
dildos steal your soul.
I am just, because there's somewhat of a format to like Talking Comics. And like with Talking Comics, like what I have here, it's like we do like what's current right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about geek news. Mm-hmm. And we'll balance each other, just stuff that it's basically you guys are peeking into what Ryan and I talk about at the shop all the time.
Pretty much.
And we just want to let you guys in and say, oh my God, we love this stuff. Do you?
Yeah.
Whereas Jimmy and I will sit there and kind of do we'll take a genre or a certain piece of cinematic history and we'll do like a top 5, like horror, action, or the 70s.
I'm still waiting for that Kung Fu movie one to join in on.
I know, right? Yeah.
Jimmy!
Whereas, Space Monkeys is kind of just... What I do with that is I get all the guys together, and it's just... They have no idea going in. Trust me, people.
Yeah. You think I knew I was going to take a satanic quiz last time? Shit.
It is, it is off the rails. There's no concept. Why do you think I do the intro? Because I make it as cheesy and generic as possible, because I want the show to just be like, oh, wow, that's kind of, it's because I'm making it different. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people could, I leave it up to you guys to say it's worse. But I'm just saying, I just let it roll. I just want these guys at their rawest, at the best, and just off the top of their heads.
Sean just wants to get me to laugh on recording.
That's the whole thing. That's the only reason I agreed from day one to do this with Ryan, because I love his laugh, and I like working with him, and I just want to see him succeed at anything that he does, because he's a genuine good human being. And yeah, I just go out of my way to fucking make him laugh. I will do anything, even if it doesn't work. Yeah. I'm still gonna fucking throw shit out there.
For those of you who don't know or might be new, I have a very evil, maniacal, evil genius movie-sounding laugh, and it is my real laugh. I have like 20 different laughs, though.
They know, sir. They know.
You know how the Eskimos have like 30 different words for snow? I have like 30 different laughs for situations.
By the way, they only have one way to kiss, and Ryan and I have done it so many times.
There's also one other very, very important thing you need to do for podcasting or YouTube videos.
Eskimo kiss?
No. You need an internet connection. But seriously, if you want to vlog or blog or anything like that, all you need, if like you can't afford a Nikon or a Sony camera, use your phone. Your phone has a camera and a microphone. I mean, they might not be very good, but most people don't have very good equipment when they first start out.
You know what's funny? Is like we're kind of doing the Kevin Smith type thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've only got through one question, but we burned through with one long answer because we're doing like what the other question I'm looking at here is what are the aspects in your podcast partner? And you've already like both of us have passion for comics.
I have no idea what these questions are either. Like Sean has them written all down.
That's a Space Monkeys aspect of this. See, he has a better. I can tell you right. I mean, I already told you guys, man, but I'm just like Ryan's passion for comics, and it's like the point counterpoint type thing where, yes, I'm old. The generation gap. He's younger. He keeps me current. I throw out the vintage stuff, and as I put it, his Jaws sense of humor, because. He's kind of like wallpaper, people. You can't get a read on him sometimes, but he will like... And then he will hit you with something so goddamn funny that you do not see coming. I'm like, holy shit, I gotta hang out with this dude all the time.
I'm like a Venus flytrap. I just sit there and
it.
Just wait for the joke to come and bam!
A trapdoor spider.
Sean's got a little penis.
And of course we do have... Sorry, man. Well, you know what? It used to be bigger, but things don't always grow very well when they're always in the shade.
You've been playing around with them Pym particles too much, but it won't go back. I think that was the first joke I ever made at your expense.
Oh my god, the first one you rendered me helpless when I was like in tears. Fucking, I can't catch my breath. Shut up. Oh, yeah, and not to mention the fact that aspects in the podcast, like, of course, if you guys are going to do it, consistency.
Yeah,
build a listenership.
Yeah, figure out what you want to do, it about, and then after you get it going, figure out a schedule. Like, we upload every Saturday. Like, I don't have an exact time on Saturday. But every Saturday, that's our upload day. And for like, if I were to add another video, my plan is to upload it on Thursday. And so on and so forth. And most big YouTubers do that. I mean, a lot of like game review YouTubers, they don't really have like an exact upload date because they work on long projects that take like, weeks or months to do.
See.
But... if you're doing like a podcast or Let's Plays and stuff like that, a consistent schedule is for the best.
Absolutely, because your listeners, whether you know it or not, because out of sight, out of mind type thing.
Yeah.
But they're out there, and they expect it, Mm-hmm. So don't let them down. Just constantly do it. You're like, oh, what the fuck am I doing it for?
I once uploaded one of our videos on Friday night instead of Saturday because I had to get up early to come help out at the shop. I think that was for the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
I uploaded it Friday night instead of Saturday, and it took like an extra 2 days for our views to start hitting.
We never post a schedule. Fuck all that. It'll be there. Hey, you know what? Out there, it'll be there when it's there. All right? Kind of like consistency. All right? Just remember week to week. We didn't say a day or an hour or the minute. All right?
Yeah.
We know you're not stalking. Kind of like but consistency. It's kind of like I like to rub Ryan's back. and smack him in the face at the same time, and vice versa. That's how we roll. That's our sense of humor. And of course, have confidence in what you're doing.
Yeah, like you can tell how much more confident we have gotten in our podcast since day one.
Holy shit! Go back and listen to the first one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you in a little secret.
Welcome to Talking Comics. Bagged and boarded. Pre-recorded.
That's funny. I was waiting for this moment. I was waiting for this question because I'm going to let everybody else, including you, good sir, on a little secret. It's one of two reasons, but every time I still get butterflies when we get ready to record.
Yeah.
Yep. To the point where it's like, well, he hasn't texted me yet. Maybe we're not recording today. Which, don't get me wrong, I love doing it. It's like my therapy session. I said it before on Space Monkeys and everything. I'm like, if I miss a session, I'm fucked. But I get butterflies all the time. And people listening to this after, go ahead. By the way, come on into the shop, make fun of me as usual. But I don't. It's one of two things. Either I want to do the best all the time, and I don't want to let you down because I know, like I said before, you're the brainchild. You're the one who got me on board with this, and it's like, holy shit! It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. It's like, oh my god! But at the same time, it's like the second thing is, am I at the age where I have nothing left in my life, and if I fuck this up, I'm a total failure. 1 foot in the grave, one on a banana peel.
Well, I definitely know how you feel there. It's like,
but I do. I mean, I'm serious. I'm like, I get nervous. I'm like, let's have a good show, people.
I've been telling myself since we started doing this regularly, like when I was working over at the vending machine place, we were struggling to get recordings done. If it hadn't been for Jimmy also being on our podcast with us, we probably would have missed a couple.
That's where, okay, I'm not tooting my own horn, but that's where I'm kind of like the idea guy. I was like, okay, how about we split this
Sean
up?
helped out a lot with during that time. And so now I'm back working at, obviously that didn't work out, and we're doing recordings regularly again. And I'm back at my old job. And of course I'd like to get like an adult job and make good money, but I'm holding off for the time being.
Because I'm not an adult.
Yeah, kind of. I'm holding off on that for the time being because I know the next time I go for that 9 to 5 job, Monday through Friday, I might not be able to do this anymore. And I really enjoy making YouTube videos and podcasts and recording, and I'm not quite ready to give it up yet. And like I said, because my buddy Sergio commented on our sorry video.
Oh, I love Sergio. Really? Did he?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you almost made me cry. I thought you were gonna quit. Please don't quit." And I commented back, "We're not quitting as long as we can help it."
See.
Also, Sergio's moving back to town, and he wants to be on a podcast.
Oh, I love Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio's the nicest guy.
He's
also one of our biggest fans.
He is awesome, man. Yeah.
He also actually is going to try and start his own YouTube channel. So
excellent.
Once that's going, he'll be getting a big old shout out from us.
There's a plug. The fact that we're naming names right now.
Sergio. Oddly enough, he's like Hispanic and Scottish. With a name like Sergio, you'd think he was Russian.
No Irish?
No.
Does
he want?
That's an inside joke.
Since he wants to be on the show, his name's going to get said eventually.
That's an inside joke.
You got any other questions on there?
Oh, I do have a few.
Like, have any of you ever wondered how Sean and I met?
Let's see. Is that on here? Let's see.
No?
Aspects in podcasting. Here we go. No, actually, we just got some bullshit questions. Let's see.
Let me it's not on there, but I'm gonna tell you guys how Sean and I met.
Do it.
While he just looks for our next thing.
A lot of these are bullshit questions, so.
So, it was not too long after he started, opening the shop. The shop wasn't even officially opened. He hadn't had his opening day yet. And Josh and I were bored, and we wanted to play Munchkin. And he was like, "Hey, let's go by the magic shop with the board games and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, all right." He's like, "Oh, they moved," and I'm like, "I don't know. We might not find anyone to play with there." And like, I thought it was just another card shop. I thought you were just another card shop. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, no. And Josh was like, come on. Like, we might as well stop in. I think they might have comics too. Like, I'll check it out, I guess. And
wow, so it was Josh, huh? I like that guy.
and I was like, we came in and I saw like new faces, people I'd never seen, like, or noticed at least a couple of times I'd went to the previous card shop.
Then I saw this hideous Yeti.
And then I saw like all the comic books and the long boxes, and like I've always liked comic books. I just never had like ready access to them, and I didn't want to like constantly like. At the time, I don't think I had Amazon Prime, so I wasn't like buying them off Amazon either. So, yeah, if it wasn't for Josh, Sean and I probably would have eventually met, but like not when we did. So,
actually, you did, because the running theory is
before we even met, Sean had a nickname for me. It was, "What the fuck town did you move me to, woman?"
Oh shit!
First time he ever saw me. So I used to ride a motorized bicycle, not a motorcycle, a bicycle with a motor on it. And I was like, and I drove past him one day, and he turns to Jamie, "What fuck town did you move to me to? What redneck town is this?"
I was totally talking shit. I didn't even know.
And then after a couple of times going in the shop, we're kind of friendly at this point. I ride my motorized bicycle up to the shop, and you're like, "This is you?"
But I was being totally honest, too. Like, right at the gate. I'm like, I talked shit about you a couple days ago. What the fuck is this? All right, I did find some... Well, I do have some other questions, but, I mean, we could probably maybe turn some... Who inspires / stimulates you to podcast?
Ooh.
I think you already covered that one.
Kind of. Like, There's so many... I subscribe to, like, a whole bunch of YouTubers.
I subscribe to nothing. Let me... look, if you don't mind, I'll take this one first. Mine will be short and sweet. I grew up listening to Howard Stern. And... after you told me, like, there's certain podcasts I do listen to, some of my favorites. Gilbert Gottfried had a good... You know Gilbert Gottfried?
I've heard the name.
He talks like this!
Oh, yes.
He had a great one before Adam West passed away. He had Adam West on his podcast.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's worth... You know when there's a good idea, when you hear somebody else do it, and you're like, holy fuck, I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Genius idea. He had Adam West tell a story. You ready for this? About back in the 60s when him and Frank Gorshin, the guy who played the Riddler in the 66 Batman TV series, when they were... Because Adam West was like the king of kings.
Yeah.
You know, he was dating... From 66 to 1970, he was dating every A-lister. Mm-hmm. All the chicks. Invited all the parties. Him and Frank Gorshin, the guy who played the Riddler, they were invited to this party, and they realized that it was an orgy, and they slipped into character. Like, so you got the Riddler and Batman 66 as people are like group sexy.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah. Oh, Riddler. I can't do an Adam West impersonation to save my life, but
Riddler. I can't.
You just picture it, folks. And they got thrown out because there was only a certain few of them that knew who they were that invited them, but everybody else was like getting pissed because they were going around like to different beds and everything, and like once they realized,
commentating,
and they're like, "Fuck no, we're not getting involved in this." They got their own, they got their own harem at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like, why should we come here? But they took it upon themselves to like, we're gonna have a little fun with this since we're here. And I'm like, yes. It's such a great story to hear.
That's hilarious.
Such a great, and that's what you guys need to do, man. Just capture the moment. If there's a story, like, even if it's embarrassing to you, don't put ego aside. Trust me. If you guys are listening to this, you've listened to us long enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I might cap this off with the bathroom story I told you about. Because I always got me some stories.
Yeah. Just when Sean thinks he's running out, something else happens to him.
Yep.
He's like, I don't know about a Space Monkeys, guys. I'm running out of stories. I can't host a Space Monkeys.
Go through a fucking day without some bullshit?
Like when I fixed your garbage disposal.
That's right.
Hey! I'm inspired by so many different people on the internet. I mean, a bunch of the YouTubers I watch, they do video game reviews and Let's Plays and vlogs. I watch a fair amount of vloggers these days that do, like, product reviews, like, and stuff like that. Like, one of the ones I watch a lot is Matthias, and he does 10 strange item reviews off Amazon, from Target, Walmart, the dollar store and stuff. And, like, he rates them good or bad and, makes jokes at their expense and stuff. I watch a lot of those. But, like, as far as, like, podcasts go, I watch... Well, back when they did it, the Screw Attack channel, they did the... God, I can't even remember the name of it. They had a podcast on there. And now it's Game Attack channel. They do the Try Hard podcast. I watch that. And I watch a couple of podcasts. Mostly it's just like, game reviews, Let's Plays, and vlogs and stuff like that. Like, there's, like... And I want to do, like, all of that. Like, vlogs, reviews, and stuff like that. And maybe at some point I'll, put it on this channel or do another channel. I don't know. I got ideas that are a little bit too big for me currently. I don't want to get too big for my britches yet.
That's actually, let's see, we'll get to that in a minute. So I've got the, speaking of, let's see, what podcasts inspire you? I'm like, I listen to, like, Hollywood Babylon. I like the Jim Cornette, Growing with Cornette, Chris Jericho, of course, Gilbert Gottfried, Howard Stern. But I do know we are in a small town, which doesn't really affect some people listening right now. But if you've been on the internet's everywhere, whether it be small or big town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have it. Don't get discouraged if you get negative comments.
Yeah.
Because if you get a cease and desist order, that's one thing. But negative comments, fuck it. Thumbs down. Don't worry about it. I love it. Just it's like what I always say. It's like I've had girlfriends who do restraining orders. You know what I do? I do straining orders, so it negates it.
I don't think that's how it works, Sean.
All right, anyway. What I was going to say is the internet at times, depending on... It's like neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's good parts and bad parts, okay? They've listened to your podcast. They've listened to what you have to offer. They don't like it, move on. But we're in the age of trolls. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like 2 girls, 1 cup exists.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think anything that we've done on Space Monkeys could really outmatch that, unless we.
I don't know. You grabbed a girl's wrist, Sean.
All right, that was a bit. Actually, that was another question. Who writes your guys' bits? And my response is, we don't do bits, we do segments. Jerk off.
Well, except for that one. That one was a bit.
It was a segment.
Sure.
Crickets.
The majority of this is all just improv. Like, we're literally just having a conversation with a microphone recording in between us.
It's like I said before. It's like, all right, break it down. Real dummies. Jimmy and I, we're doing the movie stuff. We have a smidgen of experience, and we just have a passion for again, that word passion, like Ryan said. Talking comics. It's conversations that Ryan and I have in the shop, like, because we like a lot of the shit. It's geek stuff that's happening now, and stuff we've read before, after, and stuff to come. Again, passion. We're just letting you guys in on the conversation. Yeah. Space Monkeys, totally fucked up. Totally fucking.
The only one that, like, so with our respective podcasts, we bring a list of, like, it's not really a script as much as is like a reminder note of, like, all right, I wanted to talk about Batman today, and I want to talk about the new Spider-Man movie today, and, like, for, like, Sean and Jimmy, it's like their list of movies, and for Space Monkeys, Sean's the only one with a piece of paper, and none of us get to see it.
Because I just like to fuck with those guys. Yeah, totally. I'm constantly just coming up with stuff and everything, like, but it's just having fun, because where I've never divulged where Ryan, his place of employment, but I mean, he plugs my shop more than I do at the same time. But we constantly have people coming and going, and I'm like right there at the forefront, because I'm very open and very, you know, they know the podcast and Nest Production is connected with the Nerd Nest.
Yeah.
And they're coming in, it's like, oh, I love the... But at the same time, you know, it's like I get phone calls and everything. And it's like, every once... You know, I'll get the phone calls like, hey, where's that guy with the voice? Where's that guy with the laugh? I'm like, you just missed him. He was right here. You know what? You just missed him.
Like
when,
JJ.
JJ. Secret Sauce. Let's drop that a little bit.
Yeah.
Secret Sauce.
He'd come into the shop all the time and talk to Sean. He'd be like, "Are you Ryan?"
It didn't even occur to me, because I'm dialed into the fact, because I talk to you and I talk to him all the time.
Like,
and that first day that just occurred to me that, like, you
guys
have never actually been in the same room.
Like, I've seen him in the shop like 100 times.
Yeah.
But it was the first time he was like, I was talking to Sean and JJ was like looking at me like, "Are you Ryan from the podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm JJ." I'm like, "Oh, I'm Ryan from Talking Comics."
Are you that other guy? And I'm like, holy fuck, because it's just like, it just becomes, because in the shop, doing the podcast, just bullshitting when we're outside, you know, having a cigarette or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just one big long conversation, and I can't keep an accurate accounting of so I repeat myself, or I assume I've told you something. You're like, what? You didn't tell me that. You know, it's like, fuck.
and I kind of do a radio voice a little bit when
you have a genius voice
when I get on recording. Like, when I'm actually at work helping people, I'm like, "Hi, how's it going? How can I help you today?" Like,
your Peter Parker voice.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually do a couple of different voices at work. If I'm helping a younger, like around my age woman, my nicest, most friendly voice possible. The majority of the time, I unintentionally do a country accent, like, to the point where a guy, like, this has happened to me a couple of times, they've asked where I was from. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think I can do it on purpose. I'll just, like, walk up, "Hi there, how can I help you?" Just like a little twang, just like in there. "Cash or card?" Just like a little, just like salt on eggs. Like, just a little twang in the back. And they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oregon." "Really? You sound like I hear an accent." I'm like, I said to a guy, you know, I love doing accents and stuff. I don't really do the country accent on purpose. But I think I started doing that when I started working here. Like, I just wanted to make all the country folk at ease with my presence.
At ease?
Yeah.
Because you know what's going through my head right now. We've talked about this before.
No.
No.
Okay.
I want to sit there. Like, see this car right here, Ryan? Go up to him and say, like, I want you to go up to him and say, can I sleep over?
Sean.
And then this next car over there, see that car over there? Oh my God, can I brush your hair?
Sean has tried to bribe me in the past
Will you sign my restraining order?
by saying, I'll give you this comic for free if you say this to someone at work.
Oh, like the one guy? Remember the one, the super nice Asian guy? I cannot remember his name. He's like, does the Big Brother program, and he brings kids in to play the video games. Remember the one time? Because it's getting to the point where I cannot remember his name. It's one of those guys where he comes in, he's like, "Hey, Sean, how you doing?" He's like all full of entertainment. He's like, "Yeah." And he flings down the money, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" I say, "Buddy" or "Sir" or whatever. I don't know his name.
Pal, friend.
Remember the one time when he's over there with the kids, and I'm like, "Hey, can you?" And you're like, "Oh, you want me to go over there and find out his name?" I'm like, "Yeah, could you do that for me?" And also say, "I loved you in the Goonies." No, say, I love what you're doing with these kids, and by the way, I loved your work in the Goonies." And you're like, "No! I love Spider-Man, but not that much." This is what we do, people. Oh, I do have some other bullshit questions if you're interested.
Yeah, we got time for a couple.
Okay. Are you worried everything... Oh, no. Are you worried everything will go digital in comics one day?
No.
Me neither. And if they do, I'm going to pass it off to either you or my son, and I'll be dead by then. So if it does, it's your problem, not mine.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks a lot.
I want to live... I've got it down packed. I'm going to live till I'm 86. 86 years old. That's my goal. So I'm 86 out of life. That's it.
Oh, Lord.
What do you think? Do you do digital? Or Kindle?
We were actually just talking about this a few minutes ago. I downloaded my first digital copies of some books and comics. Don't worry, Sean. They're comics I wouldn't have actually spent real money on. I would not have bought these at all.
For the record, I do Walking Dead. Because I'm addicted.
Like,
I cannot. I've been there since day one. Although I wish I had the actual issue one.
Yeah. I went on Amazon because I've been playing The Witcher 3 video game. And I was doing some research into the game, and I found out more about it. It's based off of a bunch of short stories written by a Polish writer. And I was like, oh, cool. So I bought one of the books, the book 1. And I'm also going to be buying some Witcher comics from you in the future, Sean, because they have comics done by Dark Horse. Mangala did the cover art. It looks kind of like Hellboy on the cover. Looks really cool. Anyways.
Fat Neck Batman?
Daredevil.
Okay, yeah.
Daredevil.
Okay.
Not Daredevil, Hellboy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so and a little thing popped up after I placed my order for the book, and it said, you can start reading now through the Kindle app. And I was like, oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I don't have that app downloaded. So I downloaded it, and then that little notice went away, and I couldn't get it anymore. I'd have to buy it again. And, but I already had the app installed, so I opened it up, and they're like, hi, you can sign up for your free 30-day trial. I was like, no thanks. And then they gave me 10 free books.
Nice.
So I've been reading a book I've been meaning to read for years and years, the Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone. And I got a couple of comics, Guardians of the Galaxy and Hawkeye.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I'm not that interested in these comics, so I wouldn't have bought them. I wouldn't have made Sean order them. So I was like, yeah, what the fuck? I don't really care. So free books.
Hear that, folks? Made Sean. This guy just bullies me around all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
He's
on and off the air.
He's my bitch.
Pretty much. I'm right there.
Because I'm the one that gives him the money.
I've got this, like, it's not arthritis, it's just a finger cramp because it's wrapped around his belt loop like a prison bitch.
Hold my pocket.
All right, let's see. I've got.
You fishing, bro?
I think. All right, I've got a couple more questions. Apparently, these are all kind of aimed at you.
Oh, cool.
Ryan. They actually say Ryan. Ryan, single issues or trade paperbacks? Which one is better?
Personally, I tend to go for trade paperbacks because I'm not so much a collector. I'm a reader. I prefer getting the whole story and not having to, like, for one, you get the whole story all in one go, and two, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars trying to get the whole story.
That's the thing. Okay, thank you.
And also, Sean makes no money off single issues.
Actually, I do, depending on what it is,
well,
but
yeah.
Let a professional step in. Price is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because, just as Ryan said, depending on what run you're doing, single issues can cost you. And if you miss one, oh, fuck, then you got to go back and, depending on what it is and where it's at, especially these days, this fast-paced.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, that one episode, or that one issue. I'm constantly doing that. Could go into a couple, $50 to $200, $300.
Mm-hmm.
Trade paperbacks, this is also the day and age where, everything, the binge mentality, like Netflix.
Yeah.
Trade paperbacks sell way better.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to read the story.
Yeah.
You want that story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And they always sell.
Yeah, that's how
And
I am.
it's always good for, especially, I was just talking to you about a kid that came in today about, I saw this saw the Spawn movie.
Yeah.
And I want to start reading Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered them, volume 1.
Yeah.
Here we go. Start from the beginning. So yeah,
I was actually thinking about ordering one of those myself because
Spawn?
Yeah, one of our viewers wanted us to do an episode on Spawn.
Ooh, I might sit here and you did do it. That's a nice segue. For actually, there's two questions that's kind of, the last two questions are for us, and then one question for me.
Okay.
But I might flip it around. You're not Spawn guy?
Not really. I never really got that into him.
Oh, I love Spawn.
I mean, I think the character's really cool. I just, like I said before, until recently, I never really had readily access to comics.
If I wasn't married and didn't have a wife that cared so much about me and forced me to go to the doctor, like I was on the chain gang, I swear to God, I'd grab a gallon of whiskey and Nugget and I would sit here and talk about Spawn by ourselves. That's another question. What's up with the honey bear? And that's not from someone out there. That's from someone here. He's just someone that we don't want to talk about and doesn't like any of us and wants to, like, if you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe, because if not, then it's going to keep going on whether you do or not. But it's going to get a lot worse, and there's going to be a lot more of them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe now.
Let's see. Okay, this one's for you specifically. Thoughts on Blind Box? Oh, Funko Loot Crate stuff. What do you think of, like, the mail-in shit?
I have been on a couple of those. Like, I used to get...
Are you a subscriber? Do you get those?
Not anymore. I used to subscribe to, like, Loot Crate and Geekbox or whatever it was. And I like them. I have, a huge collection of Funko Pops at this point. And I collect Funko Pops kinda. Whenever I see one that I really like of a character I enjoy, I'll pick it up.
I got a badass Spider-Man Homecoming in the shop, Ryan.
But so those subscription mailing boxes, they can be really cool sometimes. Because I had them like a couple of subscriptions, like 2 different ones for like 4 or 5 months, and I really liked most of what came in. But I got a Funko Pop of a character like I didn't even care about.
Yeah,
So-
see, that's the thing. I think they're asking you what, because they're on the fence about, because they want to jump on this bandwagon, but is it worth it? Like, I'm shelling out money, and I don't know what I'm getting. You know, it's like, what the fuck?
Like, if it's really hard to say. Like, I turned Sean onto the Marvel Collector Core box.
I turn around and flip it in the store.
Yeah. Like, a lot of those, like, the Homecoming Funko, like, Spider-Man Homecoming Funko Pop he was just talking about, that came through the Spider-Man Homecoming Collector's
Jesus.
box that he got.
I am your bitch.
And so, like, something like that, every, like, 3 months, I think it is. 2 or 3 months. Sean gets one
Monthly.
of the... Monthly? It's
Yeah,
monthly?
the end of the month. Every month.
So, something like that where you know you're going to be getting, like, a Marvel type thing that you'll like, that might be a little bit more easier to justify. But, like, those ones that are, like, Loot Crate, which is a complete mystery until, like, the month it's, like, until, like, right before it's coming. Like, they're like, fantasy, that's such a... not obscure, but like wide open genre. Vague, yeah.
Yeah, they
Like,
give a
they're
vague
like,
description.
This month's the fantasy box. I'm actually wearing one of my Loot Crate shirts right now from a fantasy box. It's
Sweet.
a D&D shirt. But yeah, there's a decent chance you're gonna get stuff you don't like. So do some research. Like, you can go to their websites and look at like previous boxes and stuff like that. But if you're a Talking Comics fan, I definitely recommend the Collector Cores box.
Okay. And let's see, I got a couple more.
I don't know
here.
how to do life without ranting.
That's fine. Oh, here we go. Have you guys? I have to say this one because I got a little boom. Are you guys famous enough that people come up and ask you for autographs?
If
Yes,
only.
yes. Actually, the other day, Ryan just autographed my cleavage.
He said please.
I did, and I put, I gave him money.
So, I've never actually been asked for one before because most of the listeners don't know what I look like or where I work.
Just give me the word, sir, and I'll open the floodgate.
But if you want our autograph, feel free to ask. We'll give it to you. Just an FYI, I have a god-awful signature.
What was that thing you said when I was like trying to do some artwork? I love that. I thought it was like fucking genius, and it was over messaging. I'm like, hey, I need a good selfie pic, and you're like, what'd you say?
Sean texted me saying, hey, I need a good selfie of you, and I said, those don't exist.
That's it. Because I'm constantly like doing different art things.
Like for that last Space Monkeys we did at the beginning, I actually used those for our pictures. They were magic cards.
Oh, the magic card. Yeah, the magic cards.
Yeah, it was the magic
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
And I like made it so they faded in. Like,
well, it's like this one. Right. That's a potential Talking Comics T-shirt.
Uh-huh.
You remember how I got your profile, right?
Yeah.
Like
You took my
came
picture.
You came in to buy books, and I'm like, stop. Turn to the side. The sun is just right, and I want to take the picture. And I basically just and then I took that home.
Took all the color out of it.
Yeah, trolled it, and then just drew over it, and that could be a new shirt. But you're like, okay.
Can I get my funny books, please?
I know you're like, it's a good thing you're not Native American. You're like, Are you stealing my soul? Don't take my picture.
I'm just here to buy stuff.
Okay, I got 2 more things. If everybody could bear with me.
Yes, I think my bladder can hold out.
Okay.
It's like a Marvel movie.
I try. Okay. Going back there's kind of like I got another question here, just saying, what do you suggest? Blah blah blah. Any hints or tips for podcast? I got one right now because we already answered that. If you're this far in, then you haven't been paying attention. I said there are so many podcasts out there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even try. Just give it up. After recording, never go home with hope.
So,
anything?
Don't
take me seriously.
That left me speechless. If you have anything that you extensively talk about with people you know, that's something you can do a podcast on.
Yeah, goddammit. Think about it. Okay, your best friend, the guy you always hang out with, okay? Nothing lasts forever. I'm just saying, you're going to grow up, you're going to get old. Like, we've talked about this for, I don't know, where are we at now?
Hour and
yeah, whatever.
11 minutes.
Nothing lasts forever. And just think, a friendship has grown from this.
Yeah.
Okay? Imagine what you can do, what we're doing as best friends. Let's say you've grown up since grade school and you guys are like just getting out of college and you want to do a podcast, blah, blah, blah. God forbid something happens. One of you guys passes away. Record as many podcasts as you can, because the memory is going to be there, and you can go back and be like, oh my God, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that. I had so much fun. Because with Ryan and I, or Jimmy and I, or all of us together, there's such fun conversations. At least for me. I can't speak for the other guys.
I'll log back into this. I'll be like 80. And
I'll be Sean's age.
I'll be Sean's age. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the asshole that owned the comic book shop. But seriously, if you go through your YouTube subscriptions, find your favorite channels, look at what they do. If you enjoy that and you're like, I want to do that, just do it.
Yeah, because the internet...
Take Shia LaBeouf's advice and just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
I'm going to save that for a Space Monkeys, because I got a story about him. Dun, dun, dun. I got these other questions are kind of bullshit. I got nothing else, man.
All right. If your questions weren't answered in this, let us know if you want us to do another Q&A. I mean, this was fun.
Well, yeah, we'll do it in a year.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Hey, out there listening. We appreciate the comments, subscriptions, all that stuff. But, hey, we ain't on your schedule, all right? This guy's got stuff to do. Me, not so much.
Yeah, I might not always respond to people's comments.
I won't ever.
Yeah, Sean doesn't even know they're there until I tell him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, look what so-and-so said.
I know, he's like, it's like living with my grandfather. How's this internet work? God damn it.
But I do see them, and lately I've been trying my best to like your comment and stuff like that, or reply if I can think of something worth saying. I'm not so good with them words. I went to public school.
No, actually, Ryan is the best. I hate you all, but...
But I do see them, and I know they're there, and I always appreciate them. So, any questions at all, it doesn't even have to be, a full Q&A. I'll upload a video on my own time answering questions if you guys want to know stuff about me and what I do and how this all works. Someday I plan on doing, a full tutorial on, podcasting. Down the line, I'll do a full tutorial video for you guys, my setup, my microphone, You don't have to get the nicest microphone. Just an FYI, you don't need to spend a whole bunch of money on it. If you're, this is my last bit before we go out. If you're gonna buy a microphone, and it's just you using the microphone, any microphone will do. But if it's something like, what Sean and I do, a conversation between us and you guys, an omnidirectional microphone is best, because you don't want it to just pick up one voice and not the other one so much.
That's a matter of opinion.
All right, some days I just turn Sean's down a little bit.
Fuck this fat blowhard motherfucker. No, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys do your own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we've helped. Maybe we've offered nothing at all.
Maybe you feel like we just wasted your time.
We just appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
Fooled you, if so. But if you guys learned something, God bless.
Yeah. If you
or Satan bless.
Yeah.
Know the mating signal.
So thank you guys, as always, for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always,
peace, asshole. Have a day. See you next Tuesday.